Daniel Dale is with us tonight with some of a fact check. So, Daniel, what did you hear? What did you want to talk about?
Anderson, it was a Donald Trump speech, which means it was a barrage of false claims, many of which I'm comfortable calling lies because they've been debunked repeatedly, and yet he keeps saying them. Things like $85 billion worth of equipment left in Afghanistan when it was actually about $7 billion, or that nobody had a problem with his call with Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger until months later. No, people had a problem right away that very week. And Anderson, I found him particularly dishonest when he tried to pivot to the federal investigation into his handling of official documents. Listen to some of the things he said on that subject.
Under the Act, I'm supposed to negotiate with NARA, the National Archives and Records Administration, which as of this date is a radical left troublemaking organization that red flags the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights as dangerous and triggering. Can you imagine? This is what we have to deal with. Even though that has absolutely nothing to do with openly taking boxes of documents and mostly clothing and other things to my home, which President Obama has done, the Bushes have done, Jimmy Carter has done, Ronald Reagan has done. Everybody's done. I was working with NARA very nicely until the raid on my home.
So 3 separate clips there replayed. This is a triple whammy of nonsense. None of that is true. On the first claim that the Presidential Records Act said that he's supposed to negotiate with NARA over the return of documents, absolutely false. That law is open and shut, clear cut. It says that the moment a president leaves office, the Archivist of the United States takes custody of presidential records. There was nothing in there that envisions a prolonged negotiation. The second claim that Obama, the Bushes, Reagan, and so on also took documents like he did has been debunked by the National Archives and Records Administration itself. It says that it took custody as required by that law immediately upon those presidents leaving office, and NARA itself was the entity that moved the documents to temporary NARA-managed facilities, so not like their own house club resort near where their presidential libraries would be built. And then the third claim that he was working very nicely with NARA until this August FBI search, that is obvious nonsense. Look, NARA had been trying for more than a year to get back these documents that were rightfully theirs. Trump did not even return all the documents, we know, even after the Department of Justice took over and issued him a subpoena. So very nicely, I guess, is debatable, but in this case, it's just obviously wrong.
He also continued to spread the same election lies that he's talked about before, the claim he said before about millions of illegal votes.
Yeah.
The millions of votes illegally stuffed into ballot boxes and all caught on government cameras.
Obviously, that is not true.
I mean, what more can we say about this? We've been dealing with this for 2 years now. It did not happen. There was a tiny smattering of fraud throughout the country that even many of Trump's own former top officials, former Attorney General Bill Barr, various campaign officials have concluded would not have changed the outcome. We've addressed this dozens, probably hundreds of times. He keeps saying it. He'll keep saying it in perpetuity. Doesn't make it any more correct.